This next section will follow on where the theme will be controlled traffic farming and residue management. And what we plan to do is have a bit of an open forum, but first we're going to listen to a couple of farmer speakers that we've invited. The first one will be Brady Green, and Brady's a farmer from Geraldton in Western Australia. Hell of a nice bloke, had a beer with him last night. And what we'll do is we'll listen to Brady, and then we'll listen to Peter Walsh. Here he is, the less honourable. And Andrew Newell's going to facilitate a bit of an open forum. So what we want really from you people is a bit of information exchange. We're going to try and nut out some problems and bang our heads together. Bit of a different format, but I think it'll work well. So, Brady, thanks very much. If you'd like to come up, that'd be great. Everyone welcome, Brady.
Thanks, Evan. Firstly, I'm going to ask for any volunteers to see if they want to talk about their production system, because I got some pretty serious doubts after listening to Phil. It was a good idea, but I've now changed my mind. We farm, basically 50 kilometres northeast of Geraldton, so we're sort of halfway up the Western Australian coast towards the northern part of the ag region over there. And we basically started in 2007. We suffered droughts in 06 and 07 and didn't put crops in for the first times in 3 generations basically. And we had a daybreak come and do a demonstration. Brad Woods brought it up and I went over and had a look, and it was a paddock of deep rip sand, which I'll elaborate on a little bit more, but it was atrocious. It did a terrible job, and you know, he convinced himself that he'd never sell one in this district. But I got a bit of time to chat with him, and I just sort of said to him, you know, what would you do with this stuff? It's pretty complex, and it's just poor sand. And he said, I'd probably start with a Sahara oat crop and at least try and get something on top of it, and then, you know, and work with that. And it was just a completely different mindset as to the way we go about farming it. So I'll just do a bit of a spiel and give you a bit of a background as to what we are and what we do. That's my family. We farm with my wife Erin and my dad and our staff. We've been cropping our entire property since 2008, with crops consisting of wheat, lupins, canola, chickpeas and barley. And our soil type is primarily an acid yellow sandplain. We've got some red loams and some duplex clays, or heavy dirt. So the last 3 years, and just touching on our business as a whole, has seen the most significant change in our family business, from our move into controlled traffic and disc seeding to the inclusion of an advisory board to our management team. We've employed the best possible resources that we think from all over the country to help us in making the right decisions and enable a smooth transition into the controlled traffic farming based on the model pioneered by Rob Ruwalt. This change in our cropping system has probably been the most challenging for me personally. The discs have been tried on the sand by many growers, and very few, if any, have been able to adopt the practice successfully. We've by no means conquered it, but we're doing everything in our power to make sure that if the system can work on our soil type, we'll make it work. And after 4 years, I haven't found any issues yet that are convincing me that we're doing the wrong thing, apart from 2 wider row spacings maybe. In 2009, I attended a management course, and I listened to Brendan Smart talk about how he had evolved his business, and I also heard Brendan speak at a Want For conference the year before that, and it kind of planted the seed into my head that you know, we really need to. We could gain some huge advantages out of an advisory board as well. This board has provided me with a sound base to make decisions, and it's definitely reduced the stress involved in running our business. The board's been focused on 2 main priorities: ensuring that we make the best decision based on the information at the time, and ensuring a true smooth transition into Rob and Justin's controlled traffic farming system with 381mm rows and discs. We've also focused on providing our staff with clarity in their job descriptions and really giving them ownership of their positions, and they're responding fantastically. We've got a great committed group of employees that enjoy coming to work, and they give me the absolute confidence that they're focused on building a strong business with us. They're given the opportunity to further educate themselves if they wish to improve their own positions. Better change that. The common practice for cropping around us is a wheat lupin rotation, which is the wheat is generally before the wheat phase, we run a deep ripper through our sand plane. There's a lot of belief that we're special and our sands just compact naturally with the rainfall. There's no expansion, and it's very different to what I can imagine most people have seen. But we believe to the contrary, that we're contributing a lot to our compaction, and by deep ripping we're doing a very good job of burying that compaction zone just a little bit deeper. But the benefits of deep ripping is just a continual large yield benefit, and the fact that nobody's controlling their traffic, it just seems to be a necessary evil. The average farm size in our area is probably about 5,000 hectares, and we need to sow this crop in 25 days. This has led most producers to focus on efficiency rather than complexity, and a lot of money is spent on machinery, yet controlled traffic just has not been a focus. It's only with the adoption of disc seeding that I can see us being able to adopt controlled traffic successfully on that scale. The discs have not taken off in our soil type, mainly due to two issues: non-wetting sand and one issue, non-wetting sand. It seems to be naturally occurring in the continually cropped sand plane, and it's one of our biggest challenges. We're hopeful that through the continued improvement of our seeding system, we're not burying our lupin residues anymore, which is, hopefully, or I'm pretty sure, contributing to some of our issues. And with inter-row sowing, we're just working with this problem and eventually hoping to overcome it. Weeds and non-wetting sand has some of our leading growers in the district adopting the practice of mowerboard ploughing. There's nothing new about this, but it's definitely taking off on the sand plane. It's incredibly expensive with considerable risk attached. We're farming the most fragile soil type I've ever seen in a very windy environment. Our southerly and easterly winds blow almost every day of summer at a rate of knots, and in 06 and 07 they blew most of the winter as well. So any country that didn't have good residue was just disastrous. It blew and blew. So under the new carbon tax, I find it very difficult to see how this practice could be sustainable. They're using about 20 litres per hectare of fuel, and they're covering about 100 hectares a day when the soil conditions are perfect, with a $500,000 Cat Challenger pulling a $250,000 mowerboard plough. The true cost, if you get it wrong, I don't think can be measured. But I can see why they're doing it, but we're heading in two separate directions, so we've all got our own issues. Over the last 3 years, we've continued to modify our disc seeder to meet our requirements. We're running a daybreak every year. We've improved its performance, and this year we managed to get a trouble-free seeding, and we got great efficiency with about 3 litres a hectare of fuel and 15 cropped hectares an hour. So that's kind of the range where we want to be. We work hard on the bar pre-season. We review the seeding process in our post-seeding meetings with the staff and ensure that next seeding is better than the last. Logistics are just an everyday chore for me, so if we get that right, life becomes a lot easier. Think of that picture. This is some of the stuff. We're only just starting to see variations. We're only 50% committed to disc, so we're running a tine machine as well as a disc machine, and it's proof like that that is helping convince us that we're doing the right thing. This is on the right is wheat sown with the tine machine, and then basically I had the disc machine working in another paddock. We ran into issues and we just swapped them straight over. Same day, same variety, same seeding rates. That's on